Hello everybody and happy Sunday. It is Marcie Besecker. It is noon on Sunday and I am super excited to show you a technique that I think will change your crafting ideas here. Let me see. Making sure I'm live, and I am. So today, let me just, for some reason I am live, but I don't see my comments, so hold on one second. All right, comments are there. Okay, so we're going to show you the Light Me Home. Sometimes I get stamps that are like this that are very intricate, and I just think they are way too much coloring. I do love to color. I love to use my alcohol markers, but some people are really intimidated by this. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ideas that you can do to create this image in color and make it super simple. And I'm going to show you a couple other little ideas. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to do part one, which is just coloring. Hi, Jeannie. Welcome back. Raining. It is really ugly here and overcast, mostly because of smoke. Our mountain areas are in really bad state right now. We're having some terrible, terrible fires close to us. These are newer fires, and so they're much closer to us. They are in Fresno County and Madera County, and that's close to us. So the Clovis Fire Department is where we are, and they're out helping with the fires. So it's ugly here. Hello, hello. It is going to be 111 today and 111 tomorrow, Jennifer. It is hot here too. But we don't have humidity, thank goodness. All right, guys, so what I'm doing is showing you that we're going to do this, and we have some really fun techniques to do. So we're going to get busy. This is going to be part one of two parts, okay? So part one, what we're going to do is do our coloring, and I'm going to show you some different ways to do the coloring. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to show you a really fun fancy fold to put the card together, okay? So let's get busy. The number one thing I would recommend is a Stamparatus with this technique. Because this is a red rubber, let me make sure I'm in screen here. I like to put my box underneath here just because this kind of now lays flat. You're going to want to take your mat out because this is a red rubber, and this gives you that foam, but this already has the foam on there. If it was a polymer, you would want to keep that in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this over. I like to put a piece of paper just to kind of pick up any extra ink. And so there's a couple different ways to show you stamp sets like this. First of all, you could emboss it. Now we could create something into this and make a beautiful card. You can tell the image. It's a house, a street light, a bench, the trees, you know, the roadway there. So you can tell what it is and make a beautiful card out of this. So that's one way to use the intricate stamps. But one of the ways I really like to is I'm going to put the paper on here. I'm going to kind of see where this goes. We're going to cut that down later on Tuesday when we make our card. But we are going to add our magnet, and I want to add two. So we're going to take both of them off the back. My washi is about done on this one here, but we're going to put this down here. All right, make sure this is on there. Okay, so everything is fine. We've got our magnets on. We're ready to go. So, again, I like to put a box or something underneath there. Let me see if I can move that glare. This is such a great light, but the glare is just terrible, but I want it on this side. So let me see. All right, that is probably a little bit better. Okay, so what we're going to do is, again, if you put the box underneath your left side, it's going to be nice and a flat surface, so it's easier for you to work with. Okay, and I'm going to turn it just a little bit because I'm going to be using markers. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take my blacks and my grays. So I have these two right here, and I am going to start with my image, and I'm going to use my black on the park bench. So the park bench is right here. Hi, Barbara. And so I'm going to just color. Now remember, your markers can go on your stamp, right onto your stamp. Your alcohol markers, I do not recommend doing that. Alcohol markers stain, and you don't want your images all stained, right? Now, I may not be seeing this exactly correctly on where the little wrought iron is on this bench, but you'll see when you do this, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm taking a good guess at where the wrought iron is. All right, and now I'm going to stamp. Hi, Debbie. So now I'm stamping, and I'm going to not wipe that ink off, okay? I'm going to go over it again, kind of make sure it's dark, it's all in what you want. And now I can go faster because I can kind of see where I put the first layer. And now you just want to stamp that, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and finish the bench. So I'm going to bring in my brown, and I believe I used, I'm looking, and I think I used, let's try this one first, which is soft suede, I believe it is. So now I'm going to try and get my arm out of the way so you can see. I'm just going to go into where the slats are on the bench. Now remember, your first time through, you're a little careful. You're kind of trying to see where the benchmarks are. Okay, and actually, you may think, oh my gosh, that's taking a long time. It really doesn't. I mean, think about if you were Nola. I don't know if I knew you were in Oregon. My daughter lives in Springfield. I go there all the time. In fact, I'm going there next week. So we go there a lot. She did live in Eugene, but she moved, bought a house in Springfield. And I am there a lot. So when I talk about going to see my granddaughter and my daughter, that is where I'm going. All right. So now you're going to see that stick in the middle, and you're like, what the heck is that? So now we're going to pull in the basic gray, and now I'm going to just do the base of the lamp post. And you can always go back, you guys. Just kind of fill it in the best you can. Now up here, remember, and you could always go lightly. Just kind of go, oh, okay, wait, I want to go on the outlines here. There's a line in the middle. So just kind of, am I close enough for you? Oh, my head's in the way. Hi, Olivia. So I'm showing a way to color images that look a little intimidating and you're not quite sure what you want to do. So this is going to be a part one. All right. So part one of this video, and you can tell I did not push hard enough in the middle there, and that's fine. I want to make it a little darker now that I can kind of see where I'm going. And you are going to see, once I do this first coloring, this coloring is going to do two different techniques. And so when you watch this coloring, you're going to see how it's going to come out and be something totally different than what you think. Okay, so now I'm going to take the old olive and I'm going to come in and do this tree. So I do jump around a little bit because I want my main larger items to show up so I can kind of see what is going on with what and where things are. So when you do the larger items first, now the house has a lot of intricacy, so I don't want to really do the house first. I'm going to do that in a little bit. I want to do the main things, like the bench and the lamp post is a big front part of the image, so I want to do that. And this is why those markers are this is what I use my markers the most for, is coloring items in like this. Or if you stamp something and you're like, oh, it needs to be a little darker, that's perfect for your markers. All right, so I'm going to pull this over a little bit. All right, so we're going to make sure that's on there. And that's why you want to leave your color like that. Now you're going to see some green up there, and that's okay because I'm going to take this green here, which is, oh, this is Old Olive. I'm sorry, this one was Mossy Meadow. So this Old Olive, I'm going to do these little trees, which makes it look like that's a mark right there, but it's actually part of the trees. There's some trees, bushes in front of the house I'm going to do. And then there's some trees back here. I'm going to do those too. So you're kind of filling everything in. And you can see how the image is coming along. I'm going to move you guys forward just a little bit so my head doesn't get in the way. Okay. All right. Well, let's hope my head doesn't get in the way, right? All right. So just kind of make sure you push it. And now you can kind of see a little there. I'm going to take the brighter green and I'm going to do the wreath. And there's a bow on the wreath, so be careful of the bow, kind of go around it. So you can see that especially once you get it done one time, it gets a lot easier. And you can go back and make some pieces darker, but wait, you're not going to believe what happens after this part. So once you get this all done, you're going to be able to make 2 cards out of this. All right. I'm going to try and move this just a little bit so my head's not so much of the way. All right, so my wreath is done. Now I'm going to grab my red to do the bow. So you guys see how this is coming along. And you're not coloring everything in. Because markers, when you color stuff in, they get really dark. So if you're coloring this in, and let me get a piece of white paper. If you were coloring the bow in, this is what you would be coloring, and look how dark that is. I mean, it's beautiful if that's what you want, but if it's a stamped image and you're coloring it in, these are really dark, whereas the alcohol markers are a little easier to color in with, but to color around with like this is a lot of coloring. And some people don't like to do a lot of coloring. So to me, I think this is kind of a cool way because it's kind of a puzzle. You're kind of like, ooh, okay, what's next? Inside the light right here is, I'm going to have this glowing. There's like a light bulb type thing in there. All right, so can you see now it's kind of coming together? So down here, when I first did this, if you look at the picture, I thought this was water, but actually it's all snow and it looks like it's a driveway up to the house. But at first I thought it was water, so I did it blue. And I guess it could be a little lake out in front of the house. But I took the lightest gray and I just kind of did the middle of the road part. And of course, these are water-based. They'll come right off of your stamp, so don't worry about that. And then I took the darker gray and I kind of went around the outside, kind of like it's the, you know, the edge of the road a little bit. And then I went under the bench. So you're going to be kind of seeing a little bit more of what's going on the picture. All right, so now you can see the road. And then I did a little bit of brown on top of that. Just a little, because it is the road, and you know, snow is... And I don't know if you can tell in the picture, but you can definitely see it in person, but it just kind of mutes it a little bit. All right, so there's that. And now I'm going to do the house. And what I did is I did the lighter part. And I just kind of did the top, kind of more the frame, the roof. And you don't have to be super neat about it, and you'll see when it's all done. So I did that. And I'm also going to take the Cajun craze, and I'm doing the chimney. So just kind of put in the little stones or brick or whatever that is. All right, and you don't want to do too much coloring because you want it to stay wet when you're putting that in. Has anybody ever done this type of stamping? Okay, so now you can see the roof line. And now I'm going to take, I think I did the soft suede again, and I did kind of the siding over here. Looks like there's a ladder or something. And there's all this little accent marks up at the top, and so I kind of am going around the windows, filling in everything else with the brown. All right, we're almost there. Okay, can you see how it's coming along? All right, and now I'm going to take the darker brown, and I'm going to do the front door, and I'm going to do these doors over here. So just kind of, you know, pick and choose your colors. It doesn't have to be exact. I don't want to do everything one color because I want to kind of make it, you know, a little, have some character. And yes, you can't really see a lot of what you're coloring, but I just don't make everything the same. And then, oops. And there was a part right here in the middle of the chimney there that I missed. All right, now we're going to see a big difference right here. And I'm going to go back over this window right here. I just probably didn't push very hard because you can tell that I did the window. And then I'm going to do the stone right around that I didn't do. All right. Now I think this is enough. I think I got everything. I'm just going to take a quick glance. There's a tree over here that looks like I didn't get all of. And you can kind of tell when you look at your stamp, you can see some really wet spots. Like that tree still had quite a bit of color on it. There we go. See how it colored in right there? All right. So there is a pretty good image. Oops. All right, so we're going to create a card out of this. Oh, sure, Debbie. Yes, you can. You can even use your die cut machine and dies on fabric too. So, yep, sure can. All right, let me move this light up just a little bit. All right, so there is some different images there. All right. And it's a little muted in the background, and it's, I mean, look at, you can create a card, and I'll show you what I did with this one. Okay, so there's the card. All I did is take my ovals and cut out the part that I wanted and created a card with that. Now let me show you the second technique. While you have this, you do not leave that, leave it like it is. You're going to put a clean piece of paper in here. All right, now this is what's going to be kind of crazy. Take your panel off, take a mister, okay, and I hold it over my trash and do one mist. Get a good mist. I'm going to do two because this one was really kind of far away, and I hope that was enough. This mister is different than the one I used before. So put that on there, close it. You do not want to get it too wet, okay? So you're misting it. And now look. It's a little more muted, a little more watercolor look. And now I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to just, so you can see it was really muted a little more there. So now I'm going to wet it a little bit more. Let's put this back in, see, and I'm just going to do it a third time. I don't think I've done it a third time yet, but it seemed like quite a bit of ink was on there, and I'll show you what I mean. So now I'm going to mist this one pretty good. I did like 4 mists, so you can see it, but I do it from kind of afar. You don't want it too terribly wet. And now we're going to put it on again, and this one I'm going to do quick. Let's see what it does. And so now it looks more like a watercolor, but still you can do images. See how this one was really a watercolor? Okay, so you can still make more cards. So this one was like a second one, and all I did is color in the sky. And then this one was like a third one. It's even more muted than the first one. Okay, so it's just depends on what you're doing and what you're looking for. This one is pretty bold, and I just used the embossing folder there, but we're going to create the cards with these panels on Tuesday. But if you look, so here is number, okay, now I'm going to see if we can do another one while it's still wet. Now again, Stamparatus, you can pull this off, and I'm going to put it over my trash away from my workspace, and I don't think there's a lot left. It doesn't look like there's a lot left, but let's just, why not check and see? I don't know if this is, I think this is thick, but that's okay. All right, we're just going to put this back on, and let's just see what we get. This one I'm going to press a little harder just because I don't think there's that much left. But if you wanted to do a background, if you wanted to do a really bold saying right across this, or somehow just make it a scene in a background and make the main sentiment the pop, you could still use this and make something with that, or make it a background. You could cut this out and then make it a background of something else, like a big tree right here that you could just put right over that and make that a big Christmas tree, and just have that a muted background, because it's definitely still, let me see if you could see here, right here. It's still a picture, still an image, so you can keep going as far as you want if you have a use for that. So let me close this up. Let me put something there. Hold on. Here we go. All right. We're going to just move that out of the way. So this is another great way to see what a Stamparatus can do, you guys. This is just, like I said, you just keep coloring, keep going, and there you go. So here again, when I did this, I thought, oh man, I want to share this technique, because I just bought this set because I wanted to try this technique, because I've done it in the past, and I really liked how it came out. And I do it like 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so I can cut it down and, you know, get the image size that I want for whatever I want, like I did here. And I made an oval. Okay, and then I just decided to go ahead and try these and see what I like. Now you got to be careful. You can see my lines here because I did not mask the light. I just kind of laid something over it, and I didn't like how that came out. So be careful on how you want to do your sky, especially with your light right there. I would mask it out next time. But like, I was just playing. So that is what I wanted to show you today with this. I will show you what we're going to create on Tuesday. So here are 2 of the cards that we did. So that's just the main stamping, and then a watercolor look. This card is what we will kind of different DSP, but same idea, and I will show you. this card. And so we're going to create this fancy fold card. And all the details will be available Tuesday on my blog. We'll do a video on how to do this. And then you can put your sentiment back here. And this does fold into a card, into an envelope, no problem. Thanks, Jeannie. Thanks, Deb. So, Steph, thank you. So this is going to be a super fun card for Tuesday. And I'll give you all the dimensions, the PDF and everything for this on Tuesday when we create it. It's a lot easier than it looks. And I wanted to tell you guys right now, I would love for you to join my team. If you are interested, right now there is a great promotion called Get and Go. For $99, you can get $125 in product, and that does include the new machine. If you are wanting a new machine, this is a perfect way to get it. But you're also going to get $50 free in products. You're going to get both of those 2 stamp sets, Queen Anne's Lace and So Much Love, with a package of rhinestones. And you are also going to get 16 card kits. So for your first class, if you want to have a class, the card kits are already created there for you, and there's going to be a PDF and everything on how to create those cards. And so that would be a perfect start to get your business going. Your first class is already there. Now you could also mail them if you want to do a video for your customers and do have that as your card kits. But you obviously can't stamp for them, so they would need to purchase those stamp sets, but you would have that class already put together. The machine is amazing and now available. The small one will be coming. It is not available yet, but the large one is. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I just want to let you guys know that I really do appreciate you joining me, subscribing and sharing and liking. I do really appreciate that. I try to respond to everybody's comments, so I appreciate your comments very much. And Anne, you did ask me to do a card, and you wanted me to put together both of the Gilded Autumn and the Forever Greenery set, and I did. So let me show you that card really quickly, and I'll show it again on Tuesday. So this is the Gilded Autumn is in the background, the paper. And then we've got the punches here and the sentiments. And then the Forever Greenery, I took some items and I turned them into a fall look. Hi, Rio. And so I turned those into the fall look that you were requesting, but I'll go over that a little bit more when we do this card on this template on Tuesday. All right. Again, my lives, you guys, are Sunday at noon and Tuesdays at 2. And I do appreciate so much you guys stopping by and chatting with me and crafting with me. Thanks, Steph. Yeah, I was super happy with this one. I love the colors. And I love this fold. It's just so fancy, but yet super easy. And then I just put like the sentiment part there on the back. Okay, and then, so yes, if you guys subscribe, like, share, that would be awesome. Chris, thank you so much. Hi, Dawn. And then you guys, as always, if you'd like to shop with me, my blog is marciebesecker.com. You can shop directly from there. On the top right side, it'll say shop my online store. Right below is my current code of the month, and this is September's code. I will be posting a blog about this coloring and on Tuesday about the fancy fold and how we did the card. Thank you, Nola. All right, you guys, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to let you go. And I wanted to just say, give these cards a try. I know there's other stamp sets out there that just look intimidating, but that did not take us very long. This is probably my shortest video. It's only been a half hour, And we've been chatting and visiting, and I showed you guys some other items. So find a stamp that's a little intricate and give this a try. Remember, don't use alcohol inks, use your regular water markers. And I just pulled out a bunch of my different colors of the greens and reds and different things to use, and super simple, a lot of fun, and it's kind of one of those relaxing things, kind of like coloring is. You can just kind of keep going and stamp it, and you saw how the image just kind of came to life, and then you can just keep looking to see what's missing. And what I like is I was able to look at this card and kind of see what is next and what needs, to be done. So maybe stamp one for yourself and then keep it. This one I cut up, but it's kind of nice to be able to see what, you have and what needs to be done, because sometimes it's not so easy to look at the card, but you also have this that you can look at. And it kind of gives you an idea of what color you want what. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the technique. I hope you learned something. If you did, I would really appreciate a like. And of course, if you subscribe and share, that would be awesome too. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Stay safe, and I will see you on Tuesday with a fancy fold. Have a great day.